In January of 2001, Jimmy and I were like, you know what, we need some sort of legacy. Straight folks, pretty easy. You go, you get married, you make babies, and that. And it's like, and the idea of getting married just didn't exist. One of the things my mom had cried about when she was upset, other than when I told her I was gay, was, she was like, oh, thank God it's not drugs, but I'm so disappointed. I always thought you'd be a great dad, and I'm never going to get to see you be a father. And that kind of carried that around a bit. And I'm, my background, I'm like, my last name means something to me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the bloodline, I'm like, I don't need to go make a baby. I just didn't have that. So we had talked about, some couples, gay couples will do surrogacy and they'll do all kinds of variations. And you know what? It's an independent thing. And, I have opinions for ourselves, and that's all that matters. So we decided to adopt. At the time, gay adoption, forget about it, right?
What year is that?
This is 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I called adoption agency after adoption agency, and I was up front. We're not trying to change the world,
right?
But we are a gay couple wanting to adopt. Sorry, we don't work with.
Wow.
Luck found an adoption agency here in Atlanta, down in Midtown. I called her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've worked with lots of gay couples. That's my primary." Folks that I work with. And at the time, she's like, domestic adoption. She's like, you could probably do it, but good luck, right? It's just not there. She's like, you're going to end up internationally, right? And right now, at that time, there's only one country that would work with single males, and that was Ukraine. Okay, Ukraine is since closed to everybody, So we're like, okay. So, we start the home study thing, and she made the mistake in that first meeting. She really genuinely made a mistake because she didn't know me. She said, when you start this process, you have to know that your child is there waiting for you. So every day you delay this paperwork, every day you put it off for another day, that's another day that your child is in an orphanage.
Ooh. And Steve was like, so
she said this process could take a year to 2 years. I was home with our son June 1st of that same year, 6 months. From the time we decided to do it, which was really Jan 1, had all the meetings and did the home study, did all of the immigration paperwork, all of that, because I was just pushing. Because she started out with do this one page.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're like,
okay.
No.
And she's like, now do this one. I'm like, nah, give me the stack. She's like, if I give you the stack, you're never going to complete it because it's too much. You're going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me the stack.
Yeah.
My kid is waiting for me.
I was writing Home Depot DDoS shit for years.
No, and that was just it. And what happened was when you figure out work where you're like, I'm on autopilot at work. Yeah. Like I could crank out 10 hours worth of work in a couple of hours because I was just, there wasn't additional stuff. So I was able to work on the adoption stuff constantly.
But it's literally mounds of paperwork.
It's mounds of paperwork because what happens is there's tons of pieces because there's pieces for the country. They want to know certain pieces of documents. There's pieces for the state. They want to know pieces of information, and there's pieces for the Fed that they want to know pieces. So we did all of that. I was in country the second week of May, and I was there. We landed back here with him, and I had to adopt him in Ukraine. So we had to go identify him. You go to a central processing center where you identify the kid. Then you have to get permission to go to the place. It was a whole emotionally rigmarole. They bring me the child was supposed to be 2.5. They bring me over a 15-month-old baby, and I'm like, nope. I walked out of the room. I'm like, that's not a 2.5-year-old baby.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, and if I hold that baby, he's coming home.
Yeah.
So so they went. They had the birthday off by 12 months.
Wow.
And so that was,
they gave you the wrong kid.
Yeah, no, it's the right kid.
Oh,
just
right kid.
Their documents were wrong. Yeah.
Wow.
So we went through. So
you stopped this from happening because you knew the paperwork was wrong.
Well, they had said that the paperwork all said it was a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah.
And they bring me a baby, like a 15-month-old.
Right. And you knew if I bring this person home.
I'm like, if I hold this 2.5-year-old baby, I'm going to fall in love. And if that baby's not available, because they messed up paperwork someplace, I hold this 15-month-old, right? And it's not, and they're like, oops, we brought you,
oh my God.
It was going to break my heart. So I was like, no, you guys figured this out. So they took like an hour to figure it out. Turns out the paperwork was wrong. This was the right baby. So that was our son.
Oh, that's great.
So, held him. He was, Ukrainian orphanage. So it was what you picture as an Eastern European orphanage at that time.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like it and post a comment, because that'll help our engagement rating. We'll go up to the top, the tippy top of the algorithm, boys and girls. The best way that we could possibly grow this show is through word of mouth. So if you have friends that you think might enjoy this video, make sure you share that with them. You have no idea how powerful that is. And there's these little echo chambers on the internet, right, where one person is aware of something, but then they think, and because they really like it, they think everybody else is aware of it, but the other people probably are not aware of it, because the internet's a huge place, right? So you could help us by being like, hey, friends of mine, I know about this thing and you would like it. So if you think that would be this video, make sure you share it with those friends. I would love you forever. I would give you a big smooch right on your lips. Make sure you like our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can see videos like this all the time from different people around Atlanta. Our goal is to capture the stories, the life stories of people around the Atlanta area, and I won't stop. I will not stop till we interview everyone in this damn city. All right? I'm going to get all of them.